Welcome to Freed on Business. He grew up in South Florida, has been in business here since the early 90s, and has closed over $3 billion in deals. He's seen it all. He always has an opinion, and he's always ready to share it. Informed, entertaining, and connected, he has his finger on the pulse of South Florida's business community. He's Jim Freed, and this is Freed on Business.
Well, everybody, welcome to this edition of Freed on Business. As the world continues to turn, we get involved. That's right, we're involved in the community. We've got some tremendous people here. Every one of them helps the community in a variety of ways. And the aspect we're going to talk about is how they're going to help the community in the housing crisis. I can't believe that there is a housing crisis, that you can't find a place to live. I thought this time last year that everybody would be getting foreclosed on and there'd be houses and apartments everywhere. Guess what? Didn't happen. Opposite happened. Everybody came here. So we're going to talk today about who's coming here, what are they finding, and what are the people here doing about it when they need a house. We've got some tremendous guests. We've got Don Ginsburg. He's Mr. Fort Lauderdale. Mirielle, who runs KW in Miami Beach and downtown Miami and all over the place. Scott Sime and his wife, Belinda, are here. And what do? They do Coral Gables, South Miami, Coconut Grove. We've got it covered today here on Freed on Business. And oh yeah, I'm looking for a place to live, so that'll spice it up even more. So stick with us. Reagan, let's sell some cars, and then we'll be right back to sell some houses. As you well know, we're South Florida's longest running business talk show. We've been on since 2008. Warren Henry's been our sponsor since 2012. So that tells you we sell a couple of cars too, usually to our friends. So if you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why I have to check out Warren Henry, Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar. They're all great cars. Up in Gainesville, they sell Audis. Down in the Keys, they sell them all. What do they all have in common? They're all great cars, and they come with the Warren Henry advantage. That's the Warren Henry advantage. I use it all the time. Complimentary service, loan, and dynamic wheel protection. They're going to buff up that scrape you just made when you were trying to park your car. Key replacement, I used that one. Those little keys cost $100. Guaranteed purchase offer, best value guarantee, the 72-hour exchange. It can take 3 days to make sure you like your car. You will. So join me, my mom, my beautiful wife, Vivian, lots of my friends. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. Always the best service. Always the best price, always Warren Henry. That's right, and if you want to do a real estate deal with a kind person, give me a call. I'm getting rid of all the angry people in my life. If you're angry, don't bother calling. If you're a good person, call me. Why? Because when you call me, it's all about you. And all I do nowadays is put my friends together. You go, Jim, that's absolutely impossible. Well, today I had a meeting with a family office. They want to put out some money. They're designing what their documents are going to look like. Guess what I'm going to do for them? I'm going to give them a focus group with a guy that I just did pref equity with, so they'll know what the market's like. And guess what happens after that? We're going to go out and kill the market. So if you need pref equity, get ready to give me a call. Or if you're looking to buy a house, I'm doing all kinds of crazy mortgages too for people that are buying homes. Why? Because it's not so easy to get the mortgage either. So if you're looking to do anything in real estate, give me a call. Why? Because when you call me, it's always all about you. Come meet my network.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
All right, this is it. We're going to have a tremendous show. We're going to talk about an issue that faces every single person in America. Where do I find a place to live? That's facing everybody right now. And guess what? The guys that build houses, they're going nuts because they won't be able to build enough houses. If they worked all day and all night, they can. The apartment and condo guys and ladies, same thing. They just can't build enough units. It's just not going to happen. We're going to be in a shortage for quite some time for a variety of reasons. That's a different show. We'll get Casey on to talk about why the supply constraint is so bad. But today we've got the experts on helping you access the market if you're looking. And boy, me and my wife are looking. We've got Scott. It's also a bad day for names. I'm apologizing to everybody up front. We've got Scott Sim, who spells it Sime, and I always get it wrong. We've got Michelle. You see, I already did it. And then we've got Don Ginsburg and Jennifer. Thank you for being easy. All right. Now that I've lightened it up, let's go right to it. I want to talk to Mirielle first. She sits on top of an entire brokerage community. Her brokers basically cover Dade County. How about Broward, Mirielle? Oh,
agents in Broward.
You do Broward? Okay. So give me a little bit of an overview on what's going on and set the table because everybody knows it's hot, but how hot?
Oh, it's hot. All right. I mean, it's just, there's so many people moving here. We hear about the migration. Right now, they're saying 1,000 people a day are moving here. Of that 1,000 people a day, 50% are either in the finance industry. So generally coming from the Northeast, like New York, New Jersey, up there, or they're part of the tech industry coming from California. Both of those crazy high tax states, people want out, they're sick of winter. And I mean, what's a better lifestyle than Miami? So it's been crazy, just from those two sectors alone. And now we're starting to hear about the restaurateurs coming from all the northern cities who were just, decimated during the whole pandemic and being stuck inside. And they're all opening restaurants here. And we can see, I live here on the beach, tourism capital of the United States, it seems like, and we're just packed. Every hotel is packed. Every restaurant is packed. And the more people that are visiting are also saying, well, I want to live like this year round. So it's
100%. 100%. In fact, I helped a guy that moved his restaurant that got closed in Arizona to Jacksonville where he could open again. This is a real trend. It's really happening. People are involved. The bankers love it because they get all the C&I business. Don, what's going up in Fort Lauderdale? Is it as hot as it is in Miami, or do I have a chance of finding a place up there? Down here, forget it.
Obviously the news headlines have really been speaking to Miami Beach, and West Palm Beach on the island. Fort Lauderdale is going to be a beneficiary because we're in the middle, and we are usually a less expensive alternative to some of the hot areas that Scott and Belinda cover and on Miami Beach. So there is more affordability in Fort Lauderdale. We are in the center. If you use the Bright Line, we have a great airport. Obviously, we're close to the beach. So we are bullish on Fort Lauderdale and all of Broward County.
Well, listen, what I've seen in Fort Lauderdale has got a tremendous housing stock, and downtown Fort Lauderdale has a unique aspect where it's the only truly vertically integrated neighborhood in Broward County. That must be an incredible place to watch explode as the people move from west to east.
Yes, yeah. We are experiencing, and my wife Jennifer and I are working with clients that are coming from Weston and all those suburbs of Broward County, and they're empty nesters and they want to come east. And that's a focus of probably half our business is the relocation and the migration back to the urban core. Unfortunately, to your point, Jim, and one of the themes of our talk today is the locals are actually getting priced out of the market because we seem so cheap comparative to New York, Connecticut, Chicago, and LA and San Fran. So the locals are having a hard time competing in this seller's market. But don't give up hope. We have some ideas today to help solve that.
That's great. And by the way, Mirielle is absolutely correct. It's very difficult to be a local in today's market. And the people that are moving here really are moving here. It's not just the PR. And what Mirielle pointed out is that the people that are moving here are directly focused on the sector of the marketplace that involves me. I would call it really, it's the middle-class market. Middle class today is up to $1 million. Scott, you provide housing to all of the people that work in downtown. What's it like? How insane is it in South Miami, Coral Gables, Coconut Grove, and God forbid, the roads?
It's very similar to what you just heard. I mean, we're seeing an influx from the Northeast, from California. The tech industry, as was mentioned, a lot of kids who got out of college moved to California. Our daughter being one, she moved out to San Francisco to work for a tech company. a company called Box, publicly traded company. They allowed her during the pandemic to work at home. So she moved back here, rented a place in Brickell, and there's an indefinite return schedule. What do you got, Gators? Is it the Gators?
Oh, yeah.
Gators.
Oh, yeah. You can throw your North Carolina stuff up there.
Okay, yeah. Well, I can give a shout out to Duke University, University of Miami, and Babson, where my daughter went. So
Babson's opening up down here. Your daughter bring her down?
I know.
Yeah, they're opening up down here.
The other thing we're seeing,
Your daughter must be smart, Scott. What
she's
happened
very
to you?
smart. I show her pictures of you, and her IQ goes up every day. Every time she looks at your picture, 2 or 3 points increase in her her IQ. But
now you see why I have Scott on the show. Scott knows exactly how to make me feel good. Now,
the other thing we're seeing, Jim,
I'll
tell you real quick, another trend that we're seeing. In fact, Belinda is at an appointment right now, meeting with a long-time Coral Gables couple who have lived in the Gables on the waterway for the last 25 years. And in the last week, we've been on 2 of these presentations where, they're getting a little bit older, looking to scale down, seeing this crazy market. So people that have lived in a house for 25 or 30 years on a prominent Gables waterway are now saying it's time to get out. 2 years ago, we talked to some of these same people. Their houses at that point were $3 or $4 million. They've gone up $2 to $3 million in the last 18 months in value. So that's another trend that's happening here is what would be a non-seller has now become a seller because the money's too good.
Yeah, but if you sell, where can that person go? And why do we hold on to that? We'll go to a break, and then Mirielle is going to tell us what happens there. Aren't I good at that? The little tease thing like they do on TV? I love it. And I'm making you laugh, which is the best part. Okay, Reagan, it's yours. Rock. Everybody, as you well know, and I always remind you if you don't, we're South Florida's longest running business talk show. Radio for many years, now on the internet, where we get even more people everywhere. So thanks to the internet for that. And we've been sponsored by Warren Henry since 2012. Thank you to Warren, Eric, Larry, and of course, their marketing team that's headed up by Samantha. Thank you, all of you. Hey, everybody, when you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you check out Warren Henry. In fact, I got a call today. My wife's lease is up. I'm so excited to get my new one. Okay, we're going to get another one. And we're going to get an Infiniti, but you can get Land Rover, Range Rover, Jaguar, Gainesville. They have Audis. Maybe I'll get her an Audi. Jennifer, would you like an Audi? No, you see? Don goes to Gainesville all the time. I think I got a new reason to go to Gainesville, Don. And of course, down in the Keys, they sell them all. Maybe I'll get a Jeep. Maybe I'll go out to my farm on a Jeep. Okay. Well, what do they all have in common? They're all great cars. They all come with the Warren Henry Advantage. I love doing this and like voguing and vamping like this. It's great. What do they all come with in common? The Warren Henry Advantage. That gives you complimentary service loaner. I use that. Dynamic wheel protection. I use that. Key replacement. I use that. Guaranteed purchase offer. I lease. Best value guarantee. You can sell it to them. They'll make sure that you're getting the best value on your car when you buy it from them. And if you don't think so, they give you 3 days to exchange it. Nobody ever exchanges it. So join me, my mom, my beautiful wife, Vivian, lots of my friends. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. Always the best price, always the best service, always Warren Henry.
This is Becca Carlson from Carlson Integrated. You know, a lot of our clients find that they can do anything, but not really everything. We are always excited to jump in and help. So whether you need another set of hands for a project or even comprehensive marketing management, our team of marketing mavens would love to have a conversation with you to see if we are the right fit. We do everything from logo and design work to email outreach and social media to writing and thought leadership. And here's a fun one. We are now offering our fabulous ebook of top 10 marketing tips on our website for free. So head over to carlsonintegrated.com and grab a copy today. And please always let us know how we can help. My email is Becca, that's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com. That's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com.
You know, I love using Rebecca for my marketing because she gets it. She's the head of the commercial realtors in Chicago. Oh, yeah. So she knows what I need. And you see, that's why I love doing real estate. You know, the people that call me, it's always all about them. I try to find out what they need, and then I self-actualize by helping them do it. That's what all the people on today really, they know me. So they know that's what I do. I do the mortgages for foreigners. I do the hard to finance mortgages for my friends and their kids. I just did a $400,000 mortgage for one of the big developers that I'm doing an $8 million penthouse loan for. So I can help them all. And that helps me feel good and get involved and stay involved. If I can help you with one of your real estate problems, give me a call. I just had a big international fund say, Jim, how do we design a pref equity program? I'm going to show them. And I'm going to market it for them. So call me. Why? Because when you call me, pretty much no matter what it is, it's all about you and I can help.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
Hi, we're back, and I want to tell Don he's a really lucky guy because Jennifer's a tremendous audience. She's cracking up at everything. And what a great smile. She's a lot of fun, Don. You know, it's most important thing is to have somebody fun along for the ride. We're here also with Mirielle. How'd I do?
Yeah.
And Scott, he's the expert. He look at his office. Shows you he's important. All right. These are my top brokers here in Miami and South Florida. They're going to tell us what the solutions are. Don, let's start with you. I'm looking. What am I going to run into and how can you help me?
Well, there's no secret that it's a absolute seller's market out there. Inventory is light, sales are up. We ran all these beautiful statistics, but we all really know the story. You know, home value prices are through the roof. Inventory is low. Things are selling quick. And the craziest statistic to me in my 31 years in this business is that the list price of a home these days is now become the starting price for negotiation, not the guidance to where you would offer something lower than the asking price. We're all hearing. Go ahead.
It sounds to me then like the realtor is very important in setting the price. It sounds like it's the most important part.
Yeah.
Setting the price. Yes. Setting the price is extremely important, and being cognizant of appraisals, unless you're working with a cash buyer. Cash buyer is obviously not as concerned about the appraisal, but we are having a lot of appraisal issues. The prices are moving too fast for the appraisals to catch up. Even the best appraisers got to look backwards, not forwards. So it's important to work with buyers that have enough equity to put down on a home so that they can get a mortgage should the appraisal come up a little short to the purchase price.
That's a great tip, by the way. That is a tremendous tip. Keep going. This is meat.
So there are ways to find homes. There's always opportunity. And yes, to your point, working with a top broker like the ones you have on your show today, best place to start. Someone that knows the market. And, you know, that goes for the buyer, too. As a buyer, you need to know what you want, what you can pay, what you can finance, and what's really important so that when you find the house that you really want, you're ready to jump. You're not running comps. You're not trying to figure something out. You know that a house for $372 a foot in this neighborhood, at this bed count and this level of finish, it's time to pounce. There's no time to wait.
Yeah, you see, you did something there, though, that I'm not sure really people look at. I don't think people are saying, well, I'm paying $325 a foot. I think they're looking at just the actual full cost, and they're going nuts, okay? It's just blowing everybody's budget and blowing their minds. If you got to move, it's not the time. Unfortunately, I have a gun to my head. Mirielle, how could you help? What's going on here?
Well, I love that he was saying that. You know, we talk to people all the time. Like, if you get caught up on price, you're going to lose. it's really about the monthly payment. And with rates being so low right now, that's what you have to look at is what is your monthly payment? If you get caught up in, well, I'm going to wait till prices come down. Well, by then rates will go up and you'll have a higher payment anyway. So what the heck's the difference? Get what you want when you want it. I actually have a few agents who are so close with their clients. They do such amazing buyers consultations. They know inside and out everything that this person wants, that they have a contract already signed, ready to go. So when they find that right house that comes on the market, they immediately can put an offer in without having to call the client, hopefully get them while they're on lunch break, or, talk to them at the end of the day. If you wait and talk to them at the end of their workday, it's already too late. There's already too many other offers on there. So you've got to be the first to pounce and ready to go. And hopefully your client trusts that you know exactly what they're looking for.
Wow. That's just absolutely insane.
We have sold so many houses sight unseen. Clients never saw it until the day of the closing, but that's
why it's insane. Right, this whole place is insane. I mean, somebody showed us a house and we looked, and the house in the picture, it had a bathtub. When we got there, it didn't. Okay. Just for those buyers online, buyer beware. And, I'm in the mortgage business for residential. People call us all the time for the pre-qual letter so they can pretend that they're a cash buyer too. But the reality is, if somebody doesn't get themselves 60 days, they ain't going to close that mortgage probably. And it's a really tough time. Scott, you sell the big ticket items. Your guys are all cash buyers, aren't they?
A lot of them are. Yeah. I mean, we're a lot of the high end stuff, they'll go in cash. They may put financing on it, but they're comfortable enough to execute an all cash offer. And that's the one way we've been able to differentiate the buyers that we represent, because if it's a close purchase price and they see an all cash offer versus a financing offer, they'll typically go with the all cash offer. The one thing, Jim, I wanted to mention to you is we're seeing an interesting trend in Miami in the celebrities coming into our market, in the Coral Gables in particular. And by way of example, there's a house on Riviera Drive on the water that we followed this house over the last 7 years and traded for $4 million, $10 million, $14 million. And then within 6 months, it sold for $20 million. And we believe that the buyer is one of the owners of the soccer team, the franchise down here, that European, last name starts with B. You could figure it out. But anyways, that's what's happening down here. Is
the dude bought the penthouse at 1000 Museum. Not that I know anything about that deal. So look, what's really going on is superstar speculation. They trade them like trading cards. Every time there's a benchmark in our marketplace, we see this stuff happening. First one was, and what's really interesting, and we haven't really talked about it, is the lack of the Latin buyer. Can you imagine if the Latin buyer could be here now, what it would be like? I would just move. I have to, people are actually telling me to live in a boat.
You can't do that either.
I'm not kidding.
No real estate taxes, Jim.
Well, maybe I should call the folks at Mirielle and buy up and get a boat. I mean,
get a boat, park it off Coconut Grove, get a little dinghy. You could drive it in every day, and you won't have to pay real estate taxes. You get to watch the sun
grow. Really long, fluffy beard, and get my hair long. Go to the Starbucks at Monty's and hang out on my computer.
And your burger.
I have to work with Compass because that's where their office is. Sorry, I got to give a little plug because it's the truth.
Well, thanks.
So listen, the reality is it's very competitive. Now, how does somebody pick the right realtor? I want to go with Scott here first. Scott, you're in a real dog-eat-dog world down there. You got a lot of famous realtors that work down there that you compete with, that are physical, that are really name brands. You and Belinda have broken in there, and I got to tell you this. I'm going to give it to you right here on the show. The only freaking realtor that I ever see when I read the Miami Herald e-edition, can you guess who it is? You know who it is. It's your wife. It's your wife. Yeah. That freaking algorithm has me nailed. You better solve my problem.
Yeah. So what was the question?
I don't know. The question was how to differentiate yourself when you're going for a listing when everybody's the same.
Well, I mean, one thing we talk about is, a lot of realtors, we go up again. We're a boutique, we're a boutique firm, and we have a very high market share as far as what we sell. And on an agent to agent basis, and let's say Coral Gables, Belinda will be the number one agent as far as what she sells. She sells more houses than any other agent, and shows up on Zillow as the number one agent. And that's an organically algorithm that, you can't buy that. But to answer your question, the way we do it is I say it's a contact sport. And I say you have to be out, you have to be talking to people, you have to, get on the phone. There's no substitute for communication. People can spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on a platform. Okay. We talk about selling people over a platform. We believe it's about people, not the platform. And that's the way we've operated. Most of our business is with relationships that we already have, or, common referrals. But the other thing we're doing right now, Jim, is we're doing a lot of off-market deals because the market is so hot right now. The inventory is so low and limited that we have 3 properties right now under contract that never hit the market. And, you'll see the sale when they show up, but, that you have to create that. You have to create the off-market deals to make it happen. We're in tow with a lot of buyers, but there's not a lot of houses. So what houses would work for them? Pick the phone up and call the owner. You want to sell your house? That we're doing a lot of that.
Yeah.
So,
now, Mirielle, you've got a good platform. You do sell the platform. You talked about how it helps your realtors and the people that work there. Do they get national pipeline from KW? How does that work?
Well, the platform, how it really helps nationally and internationally is the referral network. We have 180,000 plus agents. We're now in 50 plus countries. So, and because Miami is so global and so many people are moving here from all over, those referrals come in. I mean, my top agents know how to work that network, and 30 to 40% of their business just comes in from other KW agents all over. And I love what you said earlier about Latin clients. You and I were on a panel not too long ago, and the big conversation is when this forbearance is over, we're going to flood the market with all these properties. But you have to remember, the borders have been closed for so long. You have Latin buyers wanting to come in here. You have European buyers wanting to come in here. So, I mean, the chief economists that I talk to say that this isn't going to end anywhere near till the end of 2022, at least, So I think we're in for it.
Well, our market's going to be white hot for quite some time. And the reality is it's a supply and demand issue. The world now wants to be here. Okay. The world wants to be here. And until that stops, I think that the closest example of when we shifted gears was when the models came in the 90s, and we shifted the gears with the Robbins and with Craig Robbins in South Beach and all the models and Don Johnson and all that, and boom. Okay, I think that's going on again. Only this time, Don Johnson, I'm in politics, and I hate saying this, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's Mayor Suarez. Okay, that guy really packaged himself right. And all that money he's raising, we could say that it's the tech guys trying to get a soccer stadium, which it is, but it's also going to really help him promote himself and the city. And you know something? That's not such a bad thing. He's promoting a pretty good clean-cut image and bringing business here. And you know what? That's his job. John, the alternative for Miami has always been Fort Lauderdale. You say it's cheaper. I just say it's different. What's the flavor for Fort Lauderdale right now?
We love Fort Lauderdale. My wife and I live in downtown Fort Lauderdale. Our office is downtown Fort Lauderdale. We believe it's a big city with a hometown feel. I can walk down Las Olas and run into people. I love Miami. I went to Palmetto High and grew up in Pinecrest. Miami is scattered, and South Miami, Coral Gables, Coconut Grove, Design District, the beach. I could go on and on and on. Broward County, one of our focus is so urban in East Fort Lauderdale that it's not hard to stand out. If you're moving into town, it's probably a little less intimidating than Miami. And it really just feels good. Everything is within a 5-mile radius from the airport to the beaches to the downtown, and all the good places you want to live have never been in a more compact area in the Tri-County area.
100% right. I had said it actually in an earlier segment, the exact same thing. I completely agree with you. We're going to be right back. We're going to talk more hot Miami housing market right after this. All right, this is Freedom Business. We're South Florida's longest running business talk show. Today, we're lighting it up and having a great time with some of my good friends that are realtors from across the city. And boy, are they giving us some great information, some great service, and great ideas. Other people who give great service and great ideas are my friends at Warren Henry. Eric, one of the smartest guys I know. Larry, another smart guy. Warren, a really smart guy. And, of course, Samantha, the person that makes it all happen for the marketing team. Well, what do they do for us? They help us they've been our sponsors since 2012, so I guess we're doing okay with them. Hey, everybody, remember, if you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry, Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar. My wife's lease is coming up. I wonder where I'm going to get her car. You know where, Warren Henry. That's right. They're all exceptional cars. They all come with the Warren Henry advantage. That's this whole paper of great things. It includes complimentary service loaner, dynamic wheel protection, key replacement, guaranteed purchase offer, best value guarantee, and my favorite, the one nobody ever uses, the 72-hour exchange. You can take 3 days to return your car. You're not going to do that. You're going to love it. Join me, my mom, my beautiful wife, Vivian. I have to make sure I say that because it's the truth. I love her so much. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. Always the best service, always the best price, always Warren Henry. All right, I'm sitting here texting, trying to solve my housing problem right now by hitting up one of the biggest developers in town who's delivering a building that I'm hoping to get the penthouse in. Oh, man, that's right. Call me. Why? I have contacts like that. In this nuts market, I can still get a penthouse. So call me, 305-773-6300. Need real estate financing? Got it. Just did the biggest real estate condo inventory loan ever here. Healthcare just did a big land loan healthcare tie-up thing where we cross-collateralized land in a big healthcare deal. Going to do another one real soon. I've got these family offices that are calling me, dying for me to help them structure deals for them and to introduce them to my good friends, which I'm going to do because they're my good friends on both sides. So call me. I can help you with whatever your challenge is in real estate. Want to put out money, need money, want to buy something, want to sell something, I can help. So give me a call, 305-773-6300. All the cyber guys hate it when I do that. Call me. Why? Because when you call me, it's all about you. You got it.
Welcome back to Freedom Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freedom Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
All right, we're here. We're talking about the hot real estate market for residential. Commercials also nuts and through the roof. We'll talk about that next week with Casey Conway. Woo woo, Casey. Today we've got Scott Sim like Tim. We've got Don Ginsburg. He's here with his lovely wife. And we've got Mirielle. Mireille's here from KW. And we're talking about real estate. And I want to talk about myself, even though it's all about you. I'll use myself as an example because I'm transparent and I don't give a damn. It's okay with me. I don't know if I can say that. I'm looking for a place. They're evicting us. The building changed its business plan. They gave us 60 days to vacate. It's virtually impossible to do. You can't even get a mortgage in 60 days. You can't find a place. So my beautiful 2,000 square foot unit where I can see from Fort Lauderdale to Key Biscayne, where I've lived for 30 years, tough, get out. Okay, go replace that. Impossible. That's why I've lived here for 30 years. So I sent my wife out on the mission, and we'll see what we can come up with. I did call a lot of my friends that are developers. One of them's delivering a building here in Midtown right now in Edgewater, actually, and they're going to help me out at Moderna. Hopefully, maybe help me out. High five, Jeff Marin and Mill Creek. But the reason I mention that is because when I talk to the realtors, they mentioned try Mill Creek. So even they're pushing these third-party institutional deals now. Mirielle, how do you feel about that and the lack of supply and the fact that people that need an apartment just can't find it? It just doesn't exist.
I agree with you 100%. Look, I have a condo on the Venetian Causeway. I had no intention of selling it. It was cash flowing. I love it. But my tenants are getting ready. They just got married last week and they're getting ready to move out. And I was like, I don't want to go through finding another tenant again. So I decided to put it on the market because there's nothing left on that island. And Belle Isle on the Venetian is very popular. I haven't even put it on the MLS. I already got a full price cash offer. I mean, all I did was call a couple of agents that live in the building and immediately I had it. And this is a building built in 1962 and I got almost $600 a square foot. Over $500,000 for a one bedroom. It's insane. So
but it has a tremendous view. I know it has a tremendous
amazing view.
Okay.
But again, it's old. So I told my husband, I said, well, maybe we should just sell our unit too. And you know what? We'll just go rent until the prices come back down. I started looking, you can't even find, I'd have to pay almost 3 times what I'm paying in my mortgage to find something as nice as what I love. I'm like, well, maybe we'll move to Fort Lauderdale for a while. It's cheaper up there. Guess what? The median rent right now in Fort Lauderdale is actually higher. So when you kept saying earlier, Fort Lauderdale is cheaper, it's not necessarily cheaper.
Well, that's because Fort Lauderdale has a bunch of these new apartment buildings.
I know. I just
drive the rent. They drive the rent, and that's a different show. I was doing that show last night with a couple of the developers. Oh my God! And I'm not even going to go there. What we talked about after that.
Politics again.
Yeah, well, when you talk about that in the real estate community, that can be fun. So I always start with, I really want to do your deal, and I really want to talk about that. But what I really do want to talk about is Fort Lauderdale, because Fort Lauderdale is a magical place in today. Fort Lauderdale, you can get everything new. That's why it's so much more expensive.
Yes.
But what they're selling there is they're selling the neighborhood, that unique neighborhood for Broward County and its accessibility and its continuing building. And Scott Sim, you, the guy with the beard? Yeah, you.
I'm there.
So famous people are buying. How about a normal person? When I go to look at the apartment buildings, all the little units that are cheap, they're gone. All the really fancy units that are really small and expensive, somebody bit the bullet and they're gone too. The only thing that's left is a really small 2-2 that doesn't seem to fit anybody. What's up with that? What are people really looking for, Scott?
Well, on the condo side, you're getting first-time home buyers. You're getting some of these people I mentioned, the young, the kids that are moving back. So they're looking at the condo market. The condo market, did suffer, leading into this pandemic. Still a lot of inventory in Miami. But yeah, we're getting, we talked a couple things. One is you got the pandemic. So we're seeing people that are in homes looking to buy bigger homes because they want an office. They're looking at this as their potential future work environment. So why not upgrade if you can do it? Kids are moving back. You're getting organic growth. Miami is becoming more mature. Local buyers, we just did a deal with a young family in their mid 40s. They're buying a $9 million house, and you look at these folks and you're like, the most unassuming couple I've ever met. And they run 2 dynamic businesses, local, from Miami, cybersecurity business. And they deal with the remote controls for televisions that they then refurbish and send to Latin America. Not only did they buy this house, but they also bought 2.5 acres of land, for $2.5 million. And this is where Belinda and I work together because, she'll run point on the residential and I'll run on the commercial. They're going to be building their corporate headquarters, 50,000 square feet down off 152nd and the Turnpike. But that's a local story of a organic family that's just put their ears back, worked really hard, 15, 20 years, and have a very, very dynamic business that's now enabling them to live the American dream, move from the Redlands to, on the water in Old Cutler Bay in Coral Gables, one of the nicest communities, down here. So we are seeing that. We are seeing, the wealth. We're seeing the stock market growth. We're seeing the real estate values go up. So people are upgrading. The people that want their, that forever home where they want to raise their family, that continues to grow organically in our market here.
We're only talking about one sector of the market. There's a whole other sector that we're not talking about that's completely underserved. And what I'm noticing, and it's driven, I'm experiencing it, is gentrification. Now, we're not going to talk overtly and deeply about gentrification today, but suffice it to say that I could live anywhere I want and I'm getting gentrified. That's what's happening. The near-in neighborhoods are gentrifying. What we're really talking about here is gentrification. When you're raising the prices around the person, that person's eventually going to have to leave. And that's what's going to go on. Miami is evolving. And I'm wondering where all the people that live are going to go. I'm not sure. Let's think about that, and we'll come back. Reagan, let's go. As you know, we are South Florida's longest running business talk show, been on since 2008. First on 880, then when they went all religious talk, we took it right before the pandemic, luckily, onto the internet. And look at us now. We are everywhere. I'm actually doing a deal with a guy that found me on the internet from New Zealand. Woo, woo. I'm getting close, too. All right, everybody. If you're our sponsors since 2012 have been Warren Henry, July 2012, we're almost at our anniversary. Oh, my gosh. Hey, everybody, when you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why I have to check out my friends at Warren Henry. I love them. Larry, Warren, Eric, they're all tremendous. Samantha, they're great people. All the people who work there, Ben, all of them. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry, Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar. Up in Gainesville, they sell Audis. Down in the Keys, they sell them all. That's why you've got to go there. They're all great cars, and they all come with the Warren Henry Advantage. That means you get complimentary service owner, dynamic wheel protection, key replacement, guaranteed purchase offer, best value guarantee, with 72-hour exchange. You take 3 days to exchange your car. You won't. It's going to be great. Join me, my mom, my beautiful wife, Vivian, and a lot of my friends. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be, too. This is where I'm going to go off script. Everybody just comes up to me at the conventions and goes, Warren Henry, now leave me alone. It's tremendous. I love it. I think I'm getting their brand across to my friends. Always the best price, always the best service. I love these guys. Always Warren Henry.
Becca Carlson from Carlson Integrated. A lot of our clients find that they can do anything, but not really everything. We are always excited to jump in and help. So whether you need another set of hands for a project or even comprehensive marketing management, our team of marketing mavens would love to have a conversation with you to see if we are the right fit. We do everything from logo and design work to email outreach and social media to writing and thought leadership. And here's a fun one. We are now offering our fabulous ebook of top 10 marketing tips on our website for free. So head over to carlsonintegrated.com and grab a copy today. And please always let us know how we can help. My email is Becca, that's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com. That's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com.
And I'm Jim Freed, and this is my podcast. Thank you for joining me. I've got some beautiful friends with me. It's the way I operate. I surround myself with the experts, and then I listen to them. I take their advice. In this case, it's residential. My wife and I are looking. We're going to go insane. We'll talk about this in the next segment. We're going to talk about what the people are going through and how my friends help them. And it ain't about finding a house. It's the same thing with commercial real estate. It's not easy to find what you need. I work with a lot of great people. I put them together. Some have capital, some have debt, some have equity, some have deals. Most of them don't. Everybody's looking for a deal right now. I'm the expert at finding the off-market commercial deal. So they call me. I get the calls from New York, Chicago, California, Texas, everywhere. I've got clients all over the world. One from New Zealand I talked about earlier. What's the one thing they all have in common? Well, the thing they have in common is that when they work with me, it's all about them. I think that's important. I think every person on the show today has the same exact approach. That's why they're on the show. So I'll end like this. I'm Jim Freed. I'm here to help. Give me a call at 305-773-6300. Scott's cybersecurity people will hate that I gave up my phone, but that's tough. Call me. Why? Because when you call me, it's always all about you. Give me the chance to prove it.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
Okay, this is where I'm going to talk about the most important part of the home purchase process, and it's not about getting the best price or getting your offer in there before the other person does. It's managing the person. They're in a panic now. They're stressed. They're emotional. They're freaking out. Don, what would you and your wife tell them?
Well, this came up a little bit earlier, and there's a few things that buyers need to take comfort in. Number one, we don't think this is a bubble. There's not too much lending. It's more of a supply issue that is not going away anytime soon. So if you're a buyer in today's market and you plan to stay in the home for 3, 5, 7 years, you have to think of your home as it's not a business investment. It's a place to have Thanksgiving dinner and to have kids or grandkids. So if the house was cheaper a year ago, but it still fits the bill for you and you're staying long enough, you should buy. And you shouldn't get too worked up into the frenzy. And I'll add to that as we pointed out earlier, the interest rates are low. If you're selling in this market, a lot of people say, well, great, if I sell now, I have to buy in the same crazy market. Well, first of all, take all that equity that you made on the sale and buy down the one you're moving into. Combine high equity with low interest rates, and you should be okay in your new home. And then surround yourself with somebody like Scott and Belinda or Mirielle or myself and dig for the best deal you can find in this market. They are out there. You do have to dig a little harder. We could talk about how to make your offer stand out. We've talked about doing your homework, but the idea is there are still opportunities out there for people to buy today.
Thank you so much. Mirielle, you're nodding. Can you add something to that, please?
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree with what he said. I mean, if you don't need to sell right now, I wouldn't do it. But if you're looking to move up, and like I said, you just got to be patient. And I think for agents, it's just about setting clear expectations. If you go in and you just start writing offers everywhere you go, you're going to start hitting these walls and you're going to get frustrated. The client's going to get frustrated. You have to set clear expectations. And like I said, really know what your client wants so that you're putting offers in almost immediately as soon as they come on the market.
I loved your idea about having the preset offer, and if it meets the person's parameters, just put it in there.
Yeah, I mean, you always have the inspection period to get out if it doesn't, meet what you're trying to do. But at the end of the day, if you want to compete, you got to be first.
I really appreciate that advice. Scott, how are you and Belinda helping your clients win? And what is winning?
I think right now it's important to have good broker-to-broker relationships. What I've noticed is, we typically carry a lot of listings, 20 to 40 homes. And we've noticed it's gone two ways, but we've noticed, some brokers sending flowers, and just really, and we've done the same. But I think, we've run into people that are discount brokers and just watched them do their clients disservice by not knowing the market, not knowing the broker on the other side, overpaying more than they ordinarily would have if they had any type of relationship with the other broker, but they're acting out of desperation, So right now I would say it is important to, communicate with your fellow brokers, because a lot of times you'll have two offers that are exactly the same, let's say, and the owner has to pick one. So hopefully they'll pick yours as opposed to the other one. So that would be one thing I would say. The other thing is I think Mirielle mentioned earlier about I think it was Don talking about the pricing. If you study, let's say, the Coral Gables market and you look at the historical appreciation, it's been around 7% a year. If the average price is, $1 million, $1.5 million, and in 1 year, assuming it's a normal year, you're going to get a $70,000 bump in your price, and somebody's fighting over $25,000, they're really missing the big picture. And I think, to Don's point, interest rates are low. If someone says, well, I want to buy a house and sell it in a year, I say, I can't help you. I don't know if you're going to make money or not, but if you're going to live here for a while and it's going to be your home, I could almost guarantee or assure them that they're going to have a nice profit when they go to sell it down the road.
So to me, it sounds like it's really basic business practices. People do business with people they like. People will tell people they like information they need so that they can make a better deal. And they're not doing their client disservice by doing that, because what they're doing is they're helping them do the due diligence to find the appropriate buyer that will close. Because Mirielle said there's always that inspection period where things can happen. We're going to wrap up. I want everybody to, tell me a little bit about what they're doing and why it's important for people in the submarket that you work in to work with you. Scott, you did a great job already. So we're gonna go to Don, Mirielle, then we're going to finish with Scott and Belinda, Belinda's picture is always in my electronic herald. It drives me crazy. All right, Don, why you guys? Tell me about your market knowledge and the way you like to work with your clients.
We've touched on this before, and Scott said it very well, is, your agent needs to be more than just, the data's out there. Anybody can find the data thanks to the internet. Your agent is your advisor, and your agent knows the area, and your agent's there for your best interest. And whether that's on the buy side or the sell side, other firms will talk about their tech platform and their this platform. But Mirielle said it earlier, and I absolutely agree. This is a personalized business. This is your home. This is not commercial real estate. You need to understand your clients. You need to build up the trust and the rapport with your client. And that way you put them in a home and they feel good about it and you feel good about it.
Great. Don, thank you. Thank you. You should be so proud of him. He's such a wonderful dude. He projects kindness and compassion and competency, which is what people look for. Mirielle, I know that's what you preach to your brokers and your charges. Tell us a little bit about how KW is approaching these circumstances.
Yeah, well, I have a little over 220 agents that just work here in my little office in Miami Beach. That's not all the other Keller Williams offices. But, we've been ranked the #1 training company in the world for the last 10 years. I mean, Keller Williams is known for its training. And I like to know that when people work with one of our agents, that they're trained properly, that they're going to get the best possible service. And of course, our agents are taught not to take overpriced listings. Now, that's not as big a deal these days, but in a typical market, it is. And I love that we have, of all the offices on Miami Beach, I track this constantly. We have the lowest days on market by almost more than 30 days because my agents know how to price properly. And then just one more thing, I'm just going to throw a shout out because I know she's watching. Catherine Rain, who's the #1 agent in my office, was just honored. She was the #9 agent in the entire world in Keller Williams for the first quarter. Oh. Yeah, that we have over 180,000 agents in the world, and she was #9, and she's in my office. So I just wanted to
wow.
You work with Catherine Rain. You've got a great agent.
Right. That is tremendous, and thank you for giving her the shout out. That's wonderful. And congratulations.
We just found out this morning, so it's a big deal.
Oh my gosh, she still must be electric. That's so nice. That's so nice. Congratulations. That's beautiful. Scott, how you solving people's problems, bud?
Well, I think 3 things. One is you have to be honest, you have to have integrity, you have to be conscientious. And part of this business is tough. So you have to be able and willing to take rejection and not fold up shop because it's coming. And if you look, you've got successful brokers on this show right now. If you look at the stats every year, you're going to see the same people at the top of the chart. It's the Pareto principle. 80% of the deals are done by 20% of the people. And every year that same group is going to show up. One thing we try to do is we don't look at look at the deal from the standpoint. A lot of brokers will try to make a deal because they want to make a commission. We will turn away deals if they're not the right deal for our client. And that's saying no to some short-term money, but it's saying yes to a business. You can grow your business around being honest, ethical, and doing the right thing. If it's not right, if it's overpriced, pull out of the deal. You may lose that deal, but you'll win a client for life.
That's tremendous. When I talk with the kids with Lauren Book about if somebody makes your stomach feel bad, go tell the teacher. It's the same thing. In your gut whether or not it's right. And the person that grabs the short-term commission, they're going to be talked about in the community as a person that it's not all about them. I say it's all about them. That's my tagline, whatever. But it's really true, especially today where people are being commoditized because the information's commoditized. And this is a people business. And kindness really counts, which is why I put that ad on. So we're going to go around the horn. I want to thank everybody. Mirielle, you started us off. Why don't you take the first shot at closing us up? I want to thank Mirielle for being here. Mirielle, tell us a little bit in like 30 seconds about KW.
Well, last Thursday, we did what we do every year. It was International Red Day. Every single office, 900 plus offices around the globe, closed down in this crazy market where we could be working. And we went out and did something for our community. In my local office, we went and worked with the homeless. My friend owns the homeless charity, and she said they're lucky if they save one person's life a month. And we saved one person's life that day. Somebody actually came up, took advantage of what we were offering a homeless person, and we were able to get him the assistance that he needs. And we're going to get him over to Camilla's house and start getting him in a program. So yes, it was a big deal.
Oh, thank you for saying that.
Culture comes first over numbers. Oh, yes. Culture comes over dollars and numbers every day.
That's so on brand. Look who else is on the show. Okay. Look at what they're talking about and how they are. That's so on brand. Don, who are you?
Jim. Well, it's always a pleasure. Known you too many years. My wife and I created Freebird to be a low pressure, low stress, not like you got to write this up today or you're going to lose the house. Like you have to look out for your client's best interest. If you get out of bed every day and you put out good energy and you do right by people, good things are going to come back your way. So if you're going to Miami Beach, you got to call Mirielle. If you're going to Dade, Pinecrest, Gables, Grove, got to call Scott and Belinda. And if you're coming to Fort Lauderdale or Broward, please call Don and Jen at Freebird.
I couldn't have said it better because it's all just wonderful people. Scott, I got to tell you, please do something with that algorithm. I hate looking at your wife all morning long, every single freaking day.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that, but no, I would just say you have to have fun. You have to have fun in this business. You've got to take time and say, hey, what are we doing here? And one thing about your show is I always have fun when I'm on here. And, I think Don was talking about, doing some stats. So I tried to prepare, but we never talk about the stats. We talk about, the real life, real case studies of what we're all doing. And I think that should be a conscious effort for everyone, is to have fun in their daily work.
That's so beautiful. I'm going to say one of my theorems right now. I like to surround myself with the experts, and then I like to listen to them. And it's not just being the expert on the topic. It's being the expert on how to treat people. You people are wonderful. You really are. My friend for a long time, Don, my friend for pretty long, Scott, and my new friend, Mirielle. I want to thank you all for coming today and helping people in a very stressful time. This thing is going to get lots of hits. I'll give it to everybody. You can put it up, send it out, because what this here is comfort food for everybody on this. We're all scared, all of us. The pandemic's coming to an end. Maybe. We hope so. We think so. We don't know. So they're buying the big homes just in case. Maybe, maybe not. The condos, the apartments, you can't even live in them anymore. You got to live in the common areas. Scary. So as we evolve in a community, we'll come back and we'll talk to our experts again soon and see what's going on. But I want to thank you so much for coming today and being part of this show. And now I'm going to do the end. I want to give a shout out to the first responders, the special people that help us, the people that give me my food at Publix. God bless them. This lady in my building works at Publix. I tell her thank you all the time. I want to thank our sponsors, Warren Henry Automotive, the NFL Alumni Association, Krakow AI, Carlson Integrated, Drakel Brands, the Bergstrom Center for Real Estate Studies at UF. I want to thank you, the viewer. Thank you so much for being part of our podcast today. Please go to our Facebook show, all the other stuff, Instagram. I'm the LinkedIn maven, so go over there. Join our community. Tell us who you want to hear from. You can tweet at me. If you missed today's show, Reagan's going to have it up real soon on Freed on Business. This is Jim Freed for Freed on Business. Look for me next week, Wednesday at noon. Casey Conway will be calling in from the airport, where he's going to come into Miami that next day and talk about adaptive reuse. Talk to him first. Be there. Remember, the person wants to do something, finds a way, the other finds an excuse. Now go out there and make it happen. God bless you. God bless America.